is This Cup of Go for February 27, 2023. Keep up to date with the important happenings in the Go community in just 15 minutes per week. I'm Jonathan Hall. Shay is off this week, so I'll be running the show by myself. Hopefully it won't be too bad. First off this week, no official updates, patch releases, or anything like that. We do have a couple of releases in the web frameworks category, however. Gin version 1.9.0 was recently released. If you are a Gin user, you should probably update. It's mostly a bug fix and security improvement, although there are a few minor enhancements, no major new features, a few optimizations, things like that. Of course, we'll have a link in the show notes to the changelog if you're interested. Also, following up from last week when Echo version 4.10.1 was released, this week 4.10.2 was released. This was really just a couple minor security fixes, but that does mean they're important and you should be updating. So if you're using Echo, make sure you update to version 4.10.2. Last week, we didn't have any updates on the topic of proposals, and that is because apparently somebody, Russ or somebody else, had COVID. I hope you're feeling better now. And so I guess that meeting didn't happen, or at least the meeting notes didn't get published to GitHub. But this week, we have a few proposal updates. First, no new proposals were accepted this week. A couple new ones have been added. I'll talk about those in a moment. But first, one that was declined, and that was the proposal to not reformat single-line if statements when using GoFumped. So you may be familiar with the way GoFumped reformats certain things to put it on multiple lines. So if you have a really simple if statement and you put it on a single line, so let's say it's an if error does not equal nil, open curly brace, and you could say return error, and then close curly brace with no new lines. GoFumped reformats that to be a 3-line if statement. The proposal was to not reformat that, and that proposal was declined. So we will continue with the existing behavior of GoFumped to split that into the 3-line version. Perhaps the most interesting new proposal to come out this week is to start adding a .0 to the end of Go releases that are not patch releases. So, for example, Go 1.20 would be called Go 1.20.0. This might not seem like a big deal, but there are some reasons to do this. Some technical, some a little bit less so. The easy explanation is it's confusing to not do that, especially newcomers to Go don't necessarily realize that 1.20 might potentially be upgradable to 1.20.1 or so on. And then there's also confusion if you say, for example, 1.20, does that mean the latest patch release or the earliest patch release or whatever? So it's a little bit ambiguous, at least for newcomers to the Go language. That's the argument. So the proposal is to add that .0 and make it explicit. The technical reason is a little bit more archaic. Look in the show notes for the link if you're interested in understanding the full details. But it has to do with backward compatibility and being a little bit more explicit in go.mod, which ties in, again, to this proposal that, or I don't think it's an official proposal yet, but the hope of changing for variable semantics, which we've talked about a couple times on this show. So anyway, just be aware that maybe version 1.21 will not exist, and we'll have version 1.21.0 instead. And finally, in the world of proposals, the structured logging proposal is still live and active. A lot of discussion going on there. I don't think we've talked about it on the show, so that's why I'm bringing it up. This discussion has actually been going on since October, so it's not a new issue, which is why we haven't talked about it on the show yet, but we probably should have because it is an ongoing discussion. So the proposal is to add a slog structured leveled logging package to Go to augment or to supplement the existing log package. If you have an opinion on that, I encourage you to head over to the Golang GitHub issue tracker, and of course a link is in the show notes, so you can hop over there and add your opinion. And finally, I wanted to mention the upcoming Conf42 Golang conference. It's an online conference coming up April 20th. We have mentioned it on the show before, but it's good to offer a reminder. The CFP is also open through March 20. If you love Go, if you maintain a project written in Go, and you're using Go in production, any of these would qualify you to submit a CFP. So head over to conf42.com/Golang2023. Of course, link in the description. You can get your tickets there, or you can submit a proposal. I feel like I have just breezed through the news since I don't have anybody to talk to about it. So I guess this will be a short episode. Next, I really look forward to having Shay back. We miss you, man. Hope to have you back soon. That's it for the news this week. Hope to see you next week. Until then, cheers. Once again, we don't have a sponsor this week, so I'm going to do a big shout out to Awesome Go. Awesome Go is a GitHub repository that is essentially a list of lightly curated Go packages and tools. If you're looking for a library to do a particular thing, this is a great place to start your search. The link is github.com/Avelino, AVELINO, /awesomego with a dash, awesome-go. So check out Awesome Go. They have literally hundreds of libraries and tools, command line tools, and other things written in Go. And you can see there the criteria for inclusion. They must have a certain amount of documentation, certain amount of test coverage, so on and so forth. So you can be sure that the packages listed here are not just some random crap package. They're held to a certain standard. So it's also a great place to publish your own package. If you have a Go tool you've written or a library you've written and you want a little bit more exposure for it, you can go submit a pull request and have your package included there at Awesome Go. As always, we appreciate your feedback. We'd love to hear from you on Slack. We are on the Gophers Slack in the Cup-O-Go Slack channel. You can also reach out to us online by email at news@cupogo.dev. And we'd love for you to leave a rating and review on iTunes or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And if you enjoy this, share it with a friend. So this week, since Shay is not here, and I was actually sick most of last week, I didn't get an interview lined up. So we're not going to be doing an interview this week. It makes it for a nice, quick, short episode. I hope that's good. Hopefully we'll be back next week with a proper interview after the news. Until then, have a great week.